Hello everybody, this is Neo, and we had some updates on the Warcraft 3 PTR once again for the third time on version 1.36. The first version gave us the observer mode and the tournaments. The second update gave us some balance changes that we commented on, and now there's feedback on these balance changes and also on the observer feature that we gave feedback on. So Blizzard once again, or PlaySide, is listening and they're making adjustments, and it's mostly for the better. Let's start into this patch. Here it is. Immolation gets changed once again for the, I don't know, 17th time or something. Now the damage has been reduced from 7/12/18 per tick to 6/11/17. This goes hand in hand with the revert of the mana change that they did on the last PTR version. So instead of consuming more mana, Immolation's now doing less damage. So less burst while consuming the same amount of mana as it does now. And this is pretty much what we advised them to do in the first place. Sentinel research cost was reduced even further from 100 to now 50 gold and 50 lumber. So basically the update costs cut in half. Arcane Tower feedback was previously boosted from 12 to 18. Now they dial it back a little to 16. The pulverized cost has been reduced in lumber again from 225 to 200 to 175. Mana Stone is now in line with the big mana potion and only giving 200 mana. And here come the big changes. Circlet of Nobility was a huge talking point because it stood out of the level 2 item drop table because it was that damn good, giving +2 to all stats. Instead of going for community suggestions to how to nerf or adjust Circlet, Blizzard/PlaySide has removed the circle from the drop table. So you can only find Claws +4, Gauntlet, Gloves of Haste, and Ring of Protection at that drop table. You can still buy it at the shop. So they remove one item, and they add 2 items. A Ring of Superiority for the level 1 item drops, that is Mantle, Cloak, Gauntlets, and Slippers. Also a Ring of Superiority that you already see on maps like Springtime that gives +1 to all the stats. And a Ring of Archmagi added to the drop table as a level 4 item, +3 to all stats. That is pretty strong, but you also find it on bigger camps. But yeah, new item added. This is exciting. We'll talk about it. Some other updates. Ranked play. Map vetoes. We had 10 maps in the pool. Blizzard thought it's a very good idea to give us 5 vetoes for the ranked play. That results in an opportunity for all maps to be vetoed, because it was 5, right? 5 + 5 is 10, and then there's no map left. So they changed this to 3. Problem: what if you play 4 and 4? Then there's still more vetoes than maps in the pool. I think this needs a solution, but they probably have something in store for that, I hope. Observer mode, they listen to me and I love them for it. Remember when I presented the observer mode first, I thought it should be optional. It is optional now. You have to enable the new observer mode in the menu. I think it should be the other way around. It should be enabled by default. It is now disabled by default. Switch it. Then there was the control panel in the observer mode at the bottom right hand side where you can toggle all the panels, but that created a little gap when you disable the control panel. So the UI was always imbalanced in terms of weight, what's on the screen. That control panel is now gone, and all the hotkeys can still toggle the panels, and you can look them up in the help menu. Plus, the production bar progress color is now white, as it is in StarCraft 2, exactly how I advised them to do, because there was a lot of color, and some colors were very, very hard to read within the progress bar of production. So everything they did here, mwah! I still think there's room for improvement, especially in the box that shows what unit is selected. But that box is now able to track the unit. If you click on it, basically what we do in the observing, when we click on the hero's portrait, for example, the camera is locked onto that hero and it's smooth observing, a smooth camera. This is what we need. Fantastic work on the observer mode. Love it. And hopefully on patch like 1.36 or something, you can improve it even further. Tournaments, add an additional UI to indicate when the next tournament is. Always very good. I still don't really know about the times and what they will be doing, but that will hopefully be revealed in the future. Bugs. This one is huge. Fixed an issue where the game would crash when calling Bliss hide origin frames. I'm not entirely sure what this means. I do know that it crashed a myriad of maps, this bug, and now this is fixed. So a lot of custom-made maps are playable again, and this is once again an instant where he said Warcraft 3 is so fragile, every single change can basically break everything, and it's very, very good that they fixed this. So, we now have the entire patch notes available, and I did them on Reddit so we can talk about them, because it's a little bit confusing as some changes aren't mentioned, some were reverted, and I think my post does a little bit of a better job than the Blizzard post. So this is it on Reddit. Demon Hunter Immolation, I'm not the ultimate expert on this. That is usually like Toxie and Dondolara, but we're getting really close to the sweet spot where because it's lower damage, creeping takes longer. You also use more mana for a creep spot because creeping takes longer. And that's a nice address. I'm not too sure if you need to reduce the damage on level 2 and 3. I think at that stages the spell was fine. Level 1 was the issue. It's getting addressed. I don't think it's gonna be too weak. I think it's still a good spell. I think it still enables what it enables now with Immolation, just a little bit weaker, which is then a little fairer. There's a lot of drama going on, like Immolation will be useless again. We're back to Keepercraft. I don't think so. People are too dramatic, that it's not that big of a deal. Sentinel research, I don't have strong opinions on it. They reduced the gold now. I think it's fine. Shouldn't be too crazy. You play Hunters very rarely as they are pretty expensive and heavy. So I don't see this doing any harm. Giving some vision back to Night Elves after the nerf to Ultra Vision is kind of fine. Arcane Tower feedback. I still think this is unnecessary. I still think upgrade time buff would be better for the Arcane Tower. I think the drain speed and the damage it does is okay in the current build. It's oftentimes just a little bit too late. And so herefore, it's nice that they dial it down because 18 was extreme. Just for me, the wrong way to address this. This is still wonderful. It's the right way to do, even though I got a lot of shit for it. I stand by it. Knights are really freaking good against mountain giants, fiends, etc. And this is an upgrade that they get for free. So reducing it and not having a bigger impact is fine. This, I think, is still a big mistake. Headhunter are kind of fragile. This also means that the Berserker Headhunters are weaker. We have a meta where we play with a lot of area of effect, thanks to Fork Lightning, Breath of Fire, Nova, obviously. We've seen it a lot today and also yesterday. This makes them absolute glass cannons that they shouldn't be. I think a little bit of a change is necessary. Maybe gold, maybe the time between attacks so you can't kite that easily. But yeah, this is wrong to me. and stays wrong. This is right. And I think also nerfing it even weaker is a good thing to do. Reducing lumber from late game orc is, to me, still the right thing to do. Cannibalization, I still don't know if it's necessary. This I think is good. The gold cost reduction is good. This in itself could also be good. Cutting it in half, a little bit extreme. One or the other would be fine as well. I still think that people underestimate this change. I still think that leads to a lot more agility for ghouls, a lot more presence on the map of ghouls. I'm just saying, this could be really freaking good. But hey, we'll see. I also stand by this. The claw nerf is the right thing. I also stand by this. The claw nerf is the right thing. Items are a topic that we addressed in the last PTR. I think we should balance the items first, and we're on a good way. But there's also a big chance to make them way less interesting. So here's the thing. I'd like to know, like, we kind of see that this Playside studio is involved and they're in for quite some time, apparently. We can get a little more risky with items. We can create new items. We can introduce items that are maybe in the campaign that aren't used in Melee Warcraft 3 and competitive Warcraft 3. We can go a little crazy with this. Because you can put a spell on an item, but you can also nerf it. For example, if you create a Stormbolt item that gives you one Stormbolt as an item, as a charged item, it doesn't have to be the damage and stun time of the original Stormbolt, right? That's how we have less impactful aura items, for example. And I think we can build a big variety of items. We also have a lot of stats that aren't really used in items. Like, for example, mini boots or something. Like movement speed apart from boots. What else is there? You could reintroduce the vampiric potion. How crazy would that be? Or how fun could that be? If you have a Blade Master and you go for a chase and you contest the Demon Hunter in the middle of the map, but you have the Vampiric Potion. Could lead to cool stuff. It is in the game. They don't have to create new art for it. I am very much for an experimental phase. If they're into it, we can create a lot of cool stuff there because we nerf items for a long time. And it's getting to a point where it's too extreme. We got rid of a lot of crazy stuff, like vision range for wars, etc. Also, the lightning shield remove is still kind of fine, even though I would like a nerf more. And that we get new items and that it is possible, we see it here. I think we should go on a mission to rebalance almost all drop tables, because there's big divergence in them. We can move, for example, the Parrot of Vitality up a level. We could move the Crystal Ball up a level. Stuff like this. We should make items more interesting, in my opinion. But in general, as a whole, I think this is a cool change. This is a cool change. I expect this to be a good patch. I'm very happy with a lot. I'm unhappy with little. And I don't have super strong feelings about things I'm unhappy with. So, I'm really excited about this patch. And let me know what you think. We'll dive in a little bit of a discussion now here on Twitch. And on YouTube, we see each other once the update is live. And then we also discuss what we do with this observer mode, because things are in the work there as well. Stay tuned and spread the word. Warcraft 3 is getting patched. We're getting tournaments, observer mode, new balance, all on a good way.